DCL, the official World Championship for professional drone racing teams, returned for its 6th season in 2021 with new tracks, new pilots and a new format, including the first Women's Cup. The epic locations around the world which have become DCL's USP in real-life flying were seamlessly transferred into a spectacular virtual world. The draft selection through DCL The Game attracted a new wave of talented pilots, recruited by the teams to fly at the premier level of drone racing, blurring the edges between virtual and reality for a new era of sports entertainment. The season started in America in June, in DCL's unique virtual city, Proptown, so popular on its debut in 2020. Then it was on to the ancient castle of Reutte in Austria, one of DCL's all-time favourites after staging the first real-life race in 2016. The snow-capped mountain of Lax in Switzerland marked the midway point of the season with a weekend double-header in October. Before the season finale, races 5 and 6 by the Great Wall of China, staged for the thrilling climax to DCL's first virtual season in 2020. 6 teams in the series were familiar to DCL's global fan base. From Great Britain, the 5 times world champions, X-Blades. From the United States of America, Quad Force 1. Reutte Racing from Japan. Supersonic X, formerly known as Falcons from Korea. China Dragons from China. From Russia, Drone Sports. And introducing on their debut in DCL, Spain drone team Euroflytek. 35 pilots from 15 countries were ready for action in the opening race in Proptown, USA. And the action came fast and furious, with established DCL stars like Min-Chan Kim and Kilian Rousseau needing all their skills in opening X-Blade's title defence. They stayed unbeaten through the round-robin heats, all true to form. But who was expecting Japan's Reutte Racing to be so impressive? Their revitalised roster, including the winner of the 2021 draft selection, Gabriel Barrasso, reached the team's first final in 3 years.
Yes! It's Rousseau and Kim looking to dominate this for X-Blades Racing in the final heat of the Drone Grand Prix in Proptown, USA. Rousseau leads out Kim. They go up around the crane. Mayans and Modig, you've got to do it, and you've got to do it now. It's a great route through the rings for Mayans, but it's not going to be enough as he is 0.6 of a second behind second place. It is a 1 and a 2 for Rousseau and Kim.
The small final in Proptown marked the return to form of home favourites Quad Force 1. Silas Aaron captained a whole new lineup against Supersonic X, the Koreans strengthened by the addition of Andreas Klein and Yuri Peak, 2 of 2020's exciting draft selections. But the US team, title runners-up in 2018, proved too strong, taking 3rd place, 17 points to 13. But their thunder was stolen by a fellow American, Evan de Sotel, who became the first winner in the first event in the DCL Women's Cup. Unstoppable for Reutte Racing.
It's 2.5 seconds, 1.5 seconds between Luisa Rizzo and Evan de Sotel, who's silent and in the lead again, absolutely focused. We're on board with Evan, who's absolutely terrifying a driver that she's slaloming over right now. And into the finish gate, absolutely massive and absolutely loving life right now. It's de Sotel.
Luisa was definitely the one I was most afraid of, and I felt the wind on my back a little bit, but I also knew that how fast I was, for sure.
Little did we know that the first chapter of DCL 2021 had started a storyline that was going to run and run for the rest of the season. Reutte Racing were on the up. And they showed why at the next event in the hilltop ruins at Reutte. Yet again, they reached the grand final, despite losing 2 of their round-robin heats. And yet again, they were up against X-Blades. And it all came down to the final heat, the big heat.
Mayans, then Rousseau and then Kim. It's currently X-Blades in the lead here. Mayans has got to do this for Reutte Racing, or his teammates have got to come and help him. They'll go through Breitling, weave their way through the DCL gate, head up to the iconic hairpin. We're on board with Thunder, who's moved from 3rd to 2nd, but he's got to beat MCK. Goes through the slalom, getting tighter all the time. Heads up towards the watchtower, goes over the top of that, into the Breitling ladder. They both fly with Mayans beating MCK on the way down. He heads to the finish gates. Reutte are the champions of today by 0.2 of a second.
Let's go!
It was Reute's first ever win in the Drone Champions League. The team, which had failed to score a single point in 2019, were now joint leaders of the World Championship. In the Women's Cup, Evan de Sautel survived a scare from Julie Collin, winning her first heat on debut for X-Blades. But Reute's Supercharger won the next 3 to stay top of the standings. Race 3 was the first of a double-header in Lax, the stunning mountaintop venue which had opened the Relive 2019 season and where Reutte had come last in both races. Not this time. For the third race running in 2021, Reutte were in the grand final against X-Blades, the top 2 in the title battle, going head-to-head for the outright lead. And it was revenge for Reutte, for the British team, their second win of the season. Meanwhile, in the small final, China Dragons ripped up the form book by beating Quad Force 1 to take third with a clean sweep of the top 4 in the big heat. Only their second ever podium in 4 years' competition in DCL. But there was no holding Evan de Sautel in the Women's Cup. She made it 3 wins in 3 for Reutte, the clear leader at the halfway point of the season. Part 2 of the Lax race weekend burst into life in the opening round-robin matches when title leaders X-Blades lost their heats against China Dragons.
Through the light tunnels, everybody's running very smoothly, and it's one of these tracks where these tight turns are going to try and make it. Min Chan Kim will nail this rainbow flip, but so did everybody, and it is a 1-2 for China Dragons. 12 points to 8 is a straight win for China Dragons over X-Blades, which has never happened this season, and honestly I don't think China Dragons have ever beaten X-Blades in all the years of the DCL.
And the defending champions then went down even more heavily in their next matchup against Reutte Racing.
Now it's all starting to unravel for Zamora, starting to unravel for Sonnentag, and there's less than a tenth of a second at the front with Thunder having MCK breathing down his neck, although MCK has lost loads of ground. It's all unraveled completely for 4 pilots who are so close to each other. Mayan has got Lax all to himself.
The British team still qualified for the small final, where they then made sure there were no more upsets against China Dragons. They completely crushed them, winning the big heat 10-0 to rescue third place after their worst performance of the season.
Killian Rousseau and Ashton Gamble now settling in ahead of Lynn and Rowe, but Lynn flowing. Oh, he nearly had him. This is when China Dragons yesterday turned up the heat. Oh, it's the opposite of yesterday.
Meanwhile, Reutte faced off against Quad Force 1, making their first appearance in a grand final, and they made every millisecond count.
Vincent Myers has got Levi Johnson for company, and there was 1/1000th of a second between them as they reached the dive gate. It's all up for grabs here, and Quad Force 1 have got it in control. Levi Johnson flying his way through the tunnels, over the Galaxy building. Mayan's breathing down the scruff of his neck by 1/1000th of a second again. The win is Thunder's.
So with 2 races remaining, Reutte led the title standings by 50 points, with Quad Force 1 hanging on in third. The big question in the Women's Cup was how to stop Evan de Sautel, and X-Blades' Louisa Rizzo found the answer brilliantly. She knocked the Reutte racer off the top of the podium for the first time in the season. Rizzo's win meant X-Blades trailed Reutte by 100 points, heading towards the championship decider in Asia. Typically, W Town by the Great Wall of China, a magnificent stage for the final doubleheader, lived up to all expectations on 4 different tracks around this World Heritage site. The script demanded a heavyweight grand final for race 5, and the 2 contenders, X-Blades and Reutte, duly delivered. But the drama was only just beginning as they launched into the big heat.
If it carries on like this, it is a dead heat between these teams. Mitch and Kim first now. Rousseau coming in second. He does it. Myers is third. Barrasso is fourth. That ties the series. And that means we go again. I don't think we've ever had this in DCL's history in 7 years of racing. We're going for another big heat. We're going with all of these pilots. You want to win this thing? Go and beat the other team outright. Do it and do it now. Myers, if he can get in front of MCK. Modig has moved up into fourth and dropped back down to fifth. Killian and Rousseau so close. Myers and Kim so close. Barrasso all on his own at the back of this. Into the finish gates. That's going to give them the points they need to outright win the Grand Final and the virtual Drone Grand Prix at a Great Wall of China by the smallest of margins. It's X-Blades who win it today.
That thrilling finish meant the two rivals were tied at the top of the leaderboard with the same number of points. The World Championship for professional drone racing teams would all come down to the final race of the season.
I don't know if it's ever come down to this close in DCL history. Tomorrow history is going to be made, and hopefully we make it. But may the best team win.
Drone Sports Global snatched their own piece of glory by making their first appearance in the finals round in 2021. But Quad Force One destroyed them 18-12 to finish third on the day and guaranteed third in the championship with a race to spare. Evan de Sotel and Luis Rizzo continued their intense battle in the Women's Cup, only for the American to complete a clean sweep of all four heats. One more unbeaten day's racing and she'd become DCL's first Women's Cup winner. Race 6, the grand finale. Winner takes all. Would X-Blades continue their domination of DCL, or could Reutte become the first team to beat them to the title? The answer came earlier than expected. Another surprise in this tale of the unexpected. X-Blades struggled in the round-robin heats, held by Drone Sports Global in round 1, beaten by Reutte in round 3, and beaten by Quad Force One in round 4. They'd not scored the points they needed to reach the grand final, and that left the door open for Reutte to close out the title if they collected enough points in their last matchup in round 7.
Lively starting to move up on Barrasso, could change things very dramatically if he can get in front of him. Reece Snyder's going to try and stay in the lead ahead of Barrasso. As you can see, there's a few tenths of a second between everybody, and Modig, team captain for them, who's been so solid all season, is going to try and catch Mason Lively, but the gap is too big. Our grand final will be between Reutte Racing and Quad Force One. As a result of that, Reutte are guaranteed to score more championship points than X-Blades, and as a result of that, the 5-year reign of X-Blades Racing that we'll never forget is over. Your new world champions are Reutte Racing!
The unthinkable had become the incredible. Reutte, pointless in all 8 races in the 2019 season, had fulfilled their dream in 2021, with the grand final still to come, because they would finish no lower than second, while X-Blades were left fighting for third in the small final. The defending champions proved their enduring quality by swallowing their disappointment and beating Supersonic X for that last podium place.
8 drones all to the air, and it's absolutely glorious to see, and there's only 0.15 of a second between all of them.
Fittingly, the stage was now clear for Reutte to underline their champion credentials in the final action of the year. Pressure off, they could round out their season in style.
Quad Force One would love to get enough points out of this to beat Reutte Racing outright, as they haven't won a virtual Drone Grand Prix this season. At the moment, Barrasso and Myers have got something to say about it. They're not too far ahead of Aaron, but they are ahead of Aaron. It's all starting to come a little bit undone for Quad Force One here. Myers gets another win. There goes Thunder. Barrasso comes in second. Congratulations. The Drone Champions League World Champions of 2021 from Japan, Reutte Racing. big podium, big title, maximum prize money. It's all yours.
Let's go! Let's go!
Yes!
Oh my
Whoa.
god!
Yeah, I don't have any words. Like this dream come true. Like at the start of the season, our team manager he went to all of us and said, I want to win this season, and we all thought, well, yeah, maybe, but here we are.
It was the closest ever finish in the history of the DCL World Championship. Just 100 points separated the top two. Raiden's best ever season proved the value of matching pilot recruitment to virtual racing, where hundredths or even thousandths of a second can make or break a title challenge. Min Chan Kim was confirmed as Pilot of the Year, some consolation for the X-Blade's captain. Levi Johnson was named Rookie of the Year, following up last year's award to his Quad Force 1 teammate Silas Aaron. Raiden completed their domination of 2021 in the Women's Cup, where Evan de Sautel showed why she was the class of the field. She won 3/4 of the races and never finished lower than second.
I'm very proud to be a Reutte pilot. I'm so happy to be on the team I'm on. I wouldn't be here without the support of them. Everything I've learned from all of them. I'm so glad to bring this home for us. It's unreal. I'm still trying to process it in my brain. The adrenaline is real.
Yeah, of course. This is not the sort of thing that people get used to very quickly or hear very often. But I'm delighted to tell you again, Evan de Sautel, Reutte Racing, you are the champion of the DCL Women's Cup.
That's insane. That's insane.